Great. Great to hear. Great to hear. Gabby, today we're going to practice some speaking.
Perfect teacher.
Nice. Yeah, just to get ready for your presentation next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So Gabby, first, if you could, please tell me a little bit about your day, how your day went, and maybe some of the activities that you did today.
Today, let me think. Um, uh, Today I went to the doctor.
Hmm.
Yeah, to the dermatol.
Dermatologist.
Dermatologist.
With complete
Okay.
all-in-one systems, you can get.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, in the morning.
Okay.
Then I uh, drove to the my sister uh, took a photograph session last
Okay.
week. So
Okay. Oh,
I uh, drove um, um, to get the printer photograph.
okay. So I went to pick up the
Yeah, to pick
picture.
up. Yeah, to pick up the pictures. Um, then I uh, lunch. I had a lunch with my mom.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and in the afternoon, I went to the beauty salon.
Oh,
Yeah, for my
okay.
nails. Yeah,
And
and that's all my day because my baby is with his father today.
got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what did you have done at the salon? Did you have your hair done or your nails or
Only
what?
my nails.
Ah, gotcha, gotcha. Mani pedi or only mani?
Only my nails.
Ah, okay, cool, cool. Very nice.
Yeah.
Uh, oh, Gabby, I miss getting a haircut. I miss going to the barber and feeling the barber comb my hair and move my hair, and I miss those moments, Gabby. I do. I dream about those moments, in fact. Yes, yes. And sometimes in my imagination, I think if in the future there is a pill that grows hair, and I take this pill and I have beautiful long hair like Fabio, the first thing that I want to do is I want to drive a convertible car, only to feel the wind moving through my hair.
You are a dreamer.
I'm a dreamer. Yes, yes. This is my dream. I'm a simple man. So, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's cool. That's cool, Gabby. So you had a pretty good day.
Yeah, yeah. It was
Okay. Relaxing.
relaxing.
Yeah. Cool. Well, Gabby, today I'd like to start with a video, and we're going to discuss a weather phenomenon today.
Okay?
Now, what is a phenomenon?
It's natural event, yeah, like um mm, earthquake.
Like an earthquake?
Mm-hmm. It's a phenomenon or Um, um, Strong rain.
Okay, like a
Mm-hmm.
hurricane or something?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So today we're going to really talk about and analyze one specific phenomenon, and that phenomenon is the El Nino phenomenon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so today we're gonna talk about causes, we're gonna talk about repercussions or effects, and we're gonna talk a little bit about the the emotional and mental health aspect of this at the end. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah? Okay, so Gabby, I really, really need you to focus because we have a video. It's about 5 minutes long. So it's
Okay.
kind of long.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? It's not really, really short. It's about almost 6 minutes. But
Mm-hmm.
um, this video is all about the super El Nino that is coming. Okay, so please
Mm-hmm. This year.
listen.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And take notes if you can.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Right now, across the Pacific Ocean, something is happening that could change the world's weather. It's called El Nino, and it's a global weather phenomenon that can reshape the weather, food, and temperatures worldwide. Depending on where you are, it can mean devastating floods, extreme droughts, intense heat waves, or raging wildfires. And this year, it's looking increasingly likely it's going to be strong, really strong. I'm Simon King, a lead weather presenter and meteorologist at the BBC. So let me explain how it works and what it could mean for us. El Nino is a natural climate pattern where the tropical Pacific Ocean warms up well above normal levels. Think of the Pacific like a radiator. When it's turned on, the heat transfers into the atmosphere, boosting the global average temperature. You might have also heard of La Nina, and that's the cooler than average phase. We were just in that phase last winter, but now the tropical Pacific is warming up very quickly. And the latest data suggests we're already close to or even past the threshold for El Nino to begin. It can bring chaos to weather patterns all over the world, and it's expected to keep building, peaking in strength later this year. So, how strong could it get? Well, forecasters around the world use different models to predict El Nino, and right now they're all pointing in the same direction. The Pacific is warming fast. US forecasters say that El Nino will officially form within the next month, and by late autumn or early winter, there's a 2 in 3 chance it will become strong or even very strong. Australian forecasters have similar predictions. And European forecasters say that around half of their models show it could be one of the strongest on record. This has prompted some to call this a super, mega, or even Godzilla El Nino later this year. You'd have to go back over a decade to find a very strong El Nino in modern history. In 2015, 2016 and 1997, 1998, temperatures in the El Nino region of the Pacific were 2.4 degrees above average, and that's still lower than some forecasts for this year, which are suggesting the average temperature could be between 2.5 and 3 degrees warmer than usual. The strongest ever El Nino is thought to be in 1877, when the temperature was 2.7 above average. Though this was a very different era, when there were much fewer observations. So what does it mean for weather? Well, this is the key, and there's one region which can be hit most directly. No two El Ninos are exactly the same, and so officials say that the particular strength of an El Nino doesn't directly correlate with the strength of the impact seen. But we do know it's likely to have more of an impact to those regions around the Pacific. So flooding in northern Peru and southern Ecuador is common, but also potentially in East Africa, Central Asia, and southern portions of North America. At the same time, other regions get the opposite effect. El Nino tends to suppress Atlantic tropical storms, which might sound like good news, but for Central America, that leads to a lot less rainfall and potentially drought conditions. There is a greater chance of drought and wildfires in parts of Australia, Indonesia, and the north of South America, which can damage agriculture and reduce global food supplies. It will depend on the eventual strength of El Nino, but scientists are already suggesting that 2027 could become the warmest year on record. So how has El Nino affected the climate in the past? Well, the last El Nino in 2023-24 helped make 2024 the warmest year on record. And during the last very strong El Nino in 2015-2016 that I mentioned earlier, there was severe drought in parts of Africa, specifically Ethiopia and the Caribbean. Increased wildfires hit Central Asia, and there was a huge impact on food. The droughts and floods caused by that El Nino a decade ago affected the food security of more than 60 million people, according to the UN. Chocolate is one example where we could be paying more later this year and into next. After the last El Nino, chocolate got 15% more expensive because dry weather in Ghana and the Ivory Coast affected the cocoa harvests. Should we be concerned then? It's not just about chocolate prices. The impact of El Nino is already being felt for some. Forest fires in Indonesia have started earlier this year, and communities there are especially worried that El Nino could intensify those wildfires, damaging homes, businesses, and agriculture. And what's happening in the Middle East affects things too. It's already putting pressure on food production and agriculture. The price of fertilizer has increased, and this will impact harvests in the coming months. So we could see reduced food supplies and higher prices. Sources have told me that there have been already lots of conversations happening to prepare for El Nino between UN agencies, international NGOs and interagency committees. For the UK, any direct impacts on our weather from El Nino are less certain. But climate scientists at the Met Office say El Nino years can increase the risk of colder winters here. Overall, we could be looking at potentially big humanitarian impacts through this year.
Dude, guess how much it cost me to make sure my family gets a
All right, Miss Vargas.
Teacher.
All right, let's talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah. So, what did the guy talk about? And tell me the details that you understood, please.
The guy in the video explained um, about the um, El Niño, and in this year, the Niño will be the stronger phenomenon. Oh, it's probably the El Niño could be the stronger phenomenon in the history of this phenomenon,
Mhm.
because in the Pacific Ocean, the temperature of the sea increase. Um, I don't understand, 2 degrees
Mhm.
above the average.
Yeah. Degree is grado. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he said, oh, the name of the Niño in this year could be Super Mega or Godzilla, because the prediction show us the um, high probability this year the Niño could be stronger, and the consequence of this phenomenon this year um, will be um, strong rain, floods, hot weather in all in the air, Atlantic storms. Um,
Fewer Atlantic storms.
uh-huh, Atlantic storm. And all of these events um, would cause
Will, will cause.
will cause um, or will have consequence in food, in obviously um, economical and infrastructure um, in the world. Mm, yeah, I think that's all, teacher.
Great. Okay, cool. Good comprehension with that. So take a look in the chat, Gabby. I'd like to just review some vocabulary with you.
Mhm.
So what is drought?
Sequía,
Yes. Wildfires?
incendios,
Yeah. Famine.
famine. No, I don't know famine.
So famine is when there is not enough food.
Mm, okay.
So I think in Spanish you would say escasez.
Escasez,
Escasez. There you go.
hambre.
Yeah, hambre. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, floods, you said.
Mhm.
And harvests. What is harvests?
Mm, I don't remember.
Cosechas.
Cosechas. Mhm.
Hmm? Okay, so I heard a couple of errors, Gabby. Remember, this El Nino is predicted to be the strongest, not stronger. Stronger is to
Yeah.
compare two things.
Mhm.
Strongest is
Mhm.
the maximum.
Mhm.
Yeah. And also remember, when you are making a prediction, you should use will, not would. Would
Okay.
is for a false or hypothetical fake future, not prediction about the real future.
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
cool. Great answer, great summary. So now let's have the conversation. So, Gabby, in your opinion, which province will be the most affected in Ecuador and why?
Mm, normally, with the other uh, El Niño in other years, um, we have um, rain and strong floods in the coast. Yeah, and I think the province most affected uh, are Manabí, Los Ríos, Guayas, Santa
Well,
Elena.
you're mentioning all of the provinces on the
Yeah.
coast. My
Mhm.
question is, which of the coastal provinces will be the most affected and why?
Mm.
Yeah. I want you to do more analysis.
Yeah, it's difficult. Mm, because mm, I don't know why will be the most affected.
I don't know which.
Which? Mhm.
Well, you have to consider different factors like
Mhm, mhm.
agriculture.
Yeah.
In terms of agriculture, which province will be the most affected, do you think? Which produces the most food of the coastal provinces?
Maybe Manabí.
I agree.
Mhm,
Probably
mhm.
Manabí and then maybe Guayas after that.
Yeah, but
And
I
then
think in Guayas or Los Rios, there are some um, crops like arroz, rice,
rice. Yeah.
and banana. and other activities like camaroneras,
right? Shrimp farming.
shrimp farming. Yeah. But I
That's
think
right.
Manabi it's um, agriculture province.
Oh, the
Um,
agricultural province.
agricultural province.
Agreed. Okay, agreed. So in terms of agriculture, Manabi will be the most affected. What about in terms of fisheries?
Manabí and Los Ríos, Santa Elena also.
Cool. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. What about in terms of population density and displacement due to flooding?
Mm. Guayas?
Guayas for sure, because of
Yeah.
Guayaquil. What
Yeah.
about economic disparity?
Mm. It's difficult to define which province will be most affected. I think Guayaquil because there are so many economical activities in this province.
Hmm.
But for example, in Manabí and Esmeraldas, there are activities like we said concheras or cangrejeras, people who um,
Who
they
raise who,
yeah
who who raise seafood or farm seafood.
yeah and that people will be affected also
Those
and
people.
mhm,
Yeah, not that people, those
those
people.
people. Mhm.
Okay, but Gabby, my question was about economic disparity. So which province has the most economic disparity on the coast? Which coastal province has the highest rates of poverty per capita?
Esmeraldas, I think.
Mm. So a good answer for my question is the province that will be most affected depends on
Yeah.
what exactly you are looking at. In terms
Yeah.
of agriculture, Manabi will be the most affected. In terms of economic disparity, Esmeraldas will be the most impacted.
Mhm.
In terms of fisheries and other types of farming, Los Rios will be the most affected. And in terms of population displacement,
Mhm.
Guayas will be
Right.
the most impacted.
Mhm.
Nice. So, Gabby, that's exactly what I wanted to ask you. So, Gabby, how do you think narco trafficking will be impacted by Super El Nino? Today we're
Mm,
practicing speaking, Gabby.
yeah. It's a very good question. I think narco traffic will be affected also
Sure.
because floods, I think, affect all crops, all people, all activities. And mm, but I think a phenomenon like super El Niño like this year increase
Will
um,
increase
will increase inequalities and this yeah inequalities and it is a better scenario for the
narco
activity
trafficking.
narco trafficking activities. Mhm.
Okay.
Because people lose their crops, lose their house.
So
And
you're saying more desperation
yeah,
creates more opportunity for drug
yeah,
traffickers.
yeah. Mhm.
Okay. What about logistically? Is trafficking drugs easier or more difficult when El Nino occurs?
Definitely is more difficult.
I agree, right?
Mhm,
So it's another element that the cartels need to resolve.
mhm, mhm.
Okay. So how do you think crime rates in highland cities and Amazonian cities will be impacted by coastal displacement?
Um, the Andean and the Amazon region will be affected because um, the display people could increase the informal jobs, insecurity also, and the floods and rains affect crops, so the price, the food price increase a lot of.
Will increase a lot,
Mhm, mhm, will
not
increase a lot.
yeah, no of.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good prediction. Okay. So you think criminal activity will increase in the Highland and Amazonian region as a result of the
Could
displacement
be, could be.
of people in Guayas, people in Manabí, people in
Mhm,
Esmeraldas? I think this is a logical conclusion. Um, I think that's a very logical conclusion. All right.
mhm.
So, Gabby, which demographic of society will be the most affected and why? When I
Mm.
say demographic, I mean, will men
Different levels?
be
Ah, or okay.
will men be more affected than women? Will old people be more affected
Yeah.
than young people? Will Afro-Ecuadorians be more
Yeah.
affected than will gay Ecuadorians be more affected than
Mhm.
heterosexual?
Yeah.
So, which demographic will be the most affected and why?
Women and children.
Of
Then,
all women and children or
no,
specific
poor.
groups? Okay, poor.
Mhm.
Okay.
Then, um, I think, yeah, poor women and children are the most affected part in all phenomena.
And do you think there's any distinction or difference by ethnicity or race? Or do you think that it will affect indigenous women and children, Afro-Ecuadorian women and children, and mestizo women and children who are poor in the same way?
No, if you add some variables, for example, if you are women and you are indigenous and you are old and you are poor, the inequality increase
I
when you
understand.
add some variables.
Okay, I understand. So, do you think women and children will be more affected than the elderly who are poor? Because after all, children are healthy. The old are sick and need medicine.
Yeah.
So, who will have it worse?
I think in my country we have older people who take care children.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's
So
a
it's
bad situation.
yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. So that's the worst case
Yeah.
scenario is
Mm-hmm.
old people who are poor and they take care of their grandchildren. They're
Yeah.
responsible for
Mhm.
their grand. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So, Gabby, my next uh, uh, prompt is not a question. Rather, it is a request or challenge that you create a government response. Okay, so take a few minutes and think about how the appropriate government response ideally looks like. And using the reality and the context of Ecuador.
But you said appropriate government, and we don't have appropriate government.
Okay, I understand, but we're talking in the ideal, using
Yeah.
Ecuador's real resources and the reality of Ecuador, what would be the best possible response that the Ecuadorian government could prepare? The best
Mhm.
strategy. And maybe, Gabby, we will send this video to Baran de Carandolet.
Yeah.
A solution for El Nino from Vibe Language Solutions. And maybe, Gabby, they have a job for me and you in the Barón de Carambolet,
Yeah.
if your answer is
Mhm.
good.
Um, uh, in my country, some academics and expert um, have talked about the Super Niño and its effects in my country. However, I think the government doesn't um, have any plan about El Niño. And I think a good plan need coordination between central government and local governments and identify how the prediction about Super Niño could affect every province or a specific area, and what will be a specific plan. For example, displays people, how display people, when, where. Another important activity and habría sido,
Would be,
would be,
would be,
would be
yeah,
um, build infrastructure to try to prevent or reduce the impact of
gotcha.
of this phenomenon. Um, and if we have a good framework about the risk of also we need data how the Niño affect in my country, and we don't have any data. Um, so we have a very, very high problem in my country because government doesn't have any plan.
Okay.
Mhm,
So I think that you made some really good points, Gabby. You talked about the importance of data. You talked about the importance of understanding and quantifying into tangible data the
mhm,
the impact of Super El Nino on
mhm,
different provinces, different demographics of citizens, different
Mm-hmm.
industry.
Activities. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there needs to be a predictive model, right? We
Mm-hmm.
need a data-based predictive model in
Mm-hmm.
order to create
Action
a
plans.
an
Mm-hmm.
action plan. That's exactly right. And I think that's, and you talked about infrastructure. So,
Mm-hmm.
Gabby, this is why I enjoy our classes together because you're smart. And I would vote for you if you were a presidential candidate.
Thank you.
Seriously, seriously, I would. I would say it's better than the past that we've
Yeah.
had. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Wow, interesting. So, what what types of aid or support would you like to see from other countries?
Mm. Other countries. I think the support help when you have um, a small plan or some activities that which you identify before you receive the support
Mhm,
because we have some NGOs in my country which have talked about El Niño, which have developed some workshops about this topic. Uh, but it's difficult to try to help if the government doesn't have idea
mhm,
um, and doesn't have a plan in
mhm,
in any level.
mhm, mhm,
So I think it's difficult. You can help a few group of people in different
mhm.
areas.
Gotcha, but there's no cohesive
Yeah,
plan.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I understand. So Gabby, let's add another layer, capa, another layer of
Mhm.
complexity to the situation. Ecuador in the past several years has experienced increased energy blackouts, which have
Mhm.
resulted in billions of
Mhm.
dollars lost in the economy.
Mhm.
And currently, Ecuador uh, is trying to improve the condition of different energy facilities or hydroelectric plants, et cetera, et
Yeah.
cetera. How do you think the production of energy and the availability of energy will be affected? And how do you think the Iran and Ukraine wars, together with the Super El Nino, will impact the Ecuadorian energy and agricultural sectors?
Mm. In terms of availability and generation of energy, I don't know, maybe 10 or 12 years ago, we have a plan to expand our generation. The generation start with some hydropower in my country that which were building many years ago. But I think the government and the governments, this and the others, um, um, mm, don't or did not plan or did not take this plan to continue improve our facilities, energy facilities. So now we have some thermo and hydropower, which don't fun
Don't
and
function.
don't function. Mhm. And currently, this government um, bought some facilities that are or that doesn't funk or
That don't function.
don't function. So I think the Super Niño um, increase
Will
or
increase
will increase the blackout in the next month in my country. Mhm.
Okay, interesting. Where are the majority of these hydroelectric plants located in Ecuador? In the highlands or in the coastal region?
Um, in the middle, in the Amazon region, but in the middle between Andean and the Amazon region.
Ah, okay, because it is predicted that less rain will fall in
Mhm.
these regions. Right, right. So, wow, Gabby, you're describing something terrible. Okay, and what about the second part of my question related to the Iran and
Mm.
Ukraine wars and how this, together with El Nino, will impact, for example, agriculture and other aspects of
Mhm.
life in Ecuador.
Yeah, the war affect um, our economical stability. For example, the war increased the cost of oil and all its derivados,
Derivatives.
derivatives. Mhm. Um, in terms of agriculture, we import some products and the war increased, obviously the price and the availability also. And if the Super Niño affect all countries, the price increase and availability decrease. So it's a difficult scenario, I think.
It is a very difficult scenario. So 2027 looks like it's going to be a difficult year economically for
Mhm.
the world.
Yeah.
And if we include the rollout of better AIs and advanced robots like the Optimus, which will start appearing in public in 2027,
Mhm.
we're going to see a probable decrease in jobs. So that all of these things are coming to a crescendo, the weather, the climate, the economy, technology, these things
Yeah.
are getting very intense. So Gabby,
Mhm.
the final question, and this is the last one, is how do you feel and how are you managing these various existential crises in order to maintain your mental health and to be the best mother and wife and professional? How are you keeping it together?
Yo sé cómo todas estas cosas afectan el tema de la maternidad y la familia.
No, no. I'm saying, how do you feel
Ujú.
about all of these existential crises occurring
Okay.
simultaneously, and
Excellent.
how do you manage to maintain good mental health and be a good mother and wife and professional? How do you manage that with all of the pressure of the things that we're talking about?
Mhm. Mm, well, I have some information about El Niño because my job is related with this kind of phenomena. And that is the reason why I know, oh, I don't know about the government plans in my country. Um, I think I have some advantage because I do home office, for example, so I spend a lot of time with my baby, and that's great. And I try to find fun activities with my baby. So I try to be relaxed. Um, with my husband could be different. Um, but I think now all of our time are focused in my baby, or is focused in my baby. Um, and in my job, I think mm, could be a little bit difficult the next year.
Okay. Okay, cool. Very good. And just one follow-up question to the last question. Um, how much should a person pay attention to the news and the global crises? How much should we care about this if we have no control of these things?
Mhm. Um, about El Niño is difficult because the information is um, technical and probably you need a previous knowledge about that to understand how this phenomenon affect or change. Mm, and um, mm, probably most of people um, follow trends and people um, don't focus in these real problems. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. I agree. But my question for you is how much should a person care? How much is cuánto?
Mhm, mhm.
Should I care like a lot and be like, oh my God, El Nino's coming, the war in Iran, the war in Ukraine,
Yeah,
or or
you
should
can
I
read.
or should I have a different attitude and who cares? Not my problem.
No.
Right. So this is my question. How much should a person care?
Mm, a person need uh, read a lot about that. Um, I don't know if we can be prepared or can, yeah, I don't know how, but it's important to read about this problem.
Okay, so in Spanish, Gabby, I want you to tell me cuánto nos debería importar. ¿Deberíamos dejarnos obsesionar o, o ignorarlo por completo? ¿O a- cómo, cuál es la mentalidad correcta?
I don't know. I said you need to read
Right.
and
Yeah, yeah,
try
yeah.
to understand,
Right. Yeah.
but
But
I don't know how many. It's
okay. I
important.
don't know how much.
Uh-huh.
Okay, perfect. That's a perfect answer. Okay. Well, Gabby, let's look in the chat for just a moment.
Mhm.
So when we talk about the coast, we need to say on the coast.
On the coast.
Hmm.
Okay.
You said the province most affected, and we need to say the most affected province.
On the most. Uh-huh.
The pronunciation of this word is floods.
Floods.
Yeah, not floods, floods.
Flood. Okay.
The past participle of build is built with a T.
Build. Mhm.
You need to say related to, not related with.
Okay.
You said with my husband could be different. We need the subject it. We need that subject it, Gabby. It
It
could
could
be
be.
different.
Okay.
Yeah. And with focus, we need to use on, not in. Focus on.
Mhm.
And the last error, Gabby, was a syntax error. We should not use of with most. This is what we learned in chapter 7. You said probably most of people. The correct way is most people probably.
Most people. Mhm.
So,
Okay.
Gabby, we spoke for 1 hour today about a very complicated topic, and you spoke fantastically. And
Thank you,
this
teacher.
is what I want next week with your
Okay.
presentation.
Okay.
This is speaking, Gabby, and you do better when you're speaking than when you're reading. You don't need
Okay.
to read. Speak. Watch the video from this class,
Mhm.
and you're going to say, wow, my speaking was fantastic.
Okay.
Seriously, seriously. So I'm very happy with this result, Gabby. I'm happy with your level of fluency, your vocabulary, your comprehension of my questions. I'm happy with your pronunciation and your grammar. All of those areas were good today. So, and
Thank you,
the
teacher.
reason is because you were focused and very present, but you were also applying the grammar that we have practiced in the past,
Yeah.
the verb tenses, the subject verb agreement, all of those things I heard today. So
Perfect.
awesome work. Yeah,
Thank you, teacher.
no
Really,
problem.
really thank you.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. So